Hi, I'm Jeffrey Miller, and this is Transition. What do homeboys, Haitians, and superstar sports figures have in common? Today's Transition. In our Phoenix segment, we profile a group of young men responsible for the daily production of a Detroit News comic strip called Homeboy's Neighborhood. If you thought homeboys was a term for dope dealers, street hustlers, and other assorted lowlifes, you're in for a surprise. Stay tuned for What's Going On when I ask some hard questions as to why the United States won't allow Haitians fleeing from perhaps the world's most terrifying living conditions to immigrate to this nation. The U.S. hides behind the cloak of political persecution. The Haitians, they say, are running from life's problems in their country, not a communist regime. Therefore, this nation's borders must remain closed. What's Going On asks, why? In Mindset, I'm joined by Jackie Callan, a professional boxing manager whose current fighter holds the middleweight crown, and Russ Small, a TV and radio sports commentator, as we engage dialogue on sports superstars. Do they have a separate standard of responsibility than the rest of us? Should the huge salaries we pay them to entertain us come with special moral strings attached? Transition. Our objective is to open your mind. The local paper tells us that of the 1.1 million people in American prisons, just about half are black males. Other media speak of lack of job, education, and interpersonal skills as the reason the underclass of Americans do not achieve success. Often when they say the word underclass, the media is talking about black Americans, mainly males. It's easy to get caught up in the negative hype until you remember the struggle. First, the struggle against a brutal profit maker called slavery. Then the struggle to adapt to a new land. The struggle of being pawns in a great civil war. The struggle to obtain justice in the courts, to find meaningful labor, to assimilate and integrate into a culture intent on keeping them out. It's almost possible to remember the struggle, but forget the fight. That is, until we see images like these painted by a young black man named Marcus Glenn, the first artist on a revolutionary new comic called Homeboy's Neighborhood. Though Glenn is no longer with the project, Frank Watson, its founder, steers a steady course into the future. His vehicle of choice? Entrepreneurship.
Back in 1986, when we first decided to try and develop a cartoon, what we did was we looked at all the avenues that we could use to try and convey and fight the negative stereotypes that were out there. So what we did was we decided to use characters that everybody could draw, because there's a conglomeration of artists out there who can draw. So what we tried to do was provide them a vehicle in which to express their talents. I myself have been with the project 6 years. After we began to develop the concept, we went and chose a number of artists who could help me in the effort to suggest different images that would be positive. And everybody brings a new approach to the concept.
I'm the third artist who's worked on the strip on a regular basis. And the concept of the strip is basically portraying homeboys or blacks in their everyday dealings in a positive way, and show them in a setting, the neighborhood, and in the comic pages, which is traditionally been an arena blacks have not had much of a part in. Waking up in the morning, you turn to the funny pages and you see these characters interacting, and you see that black people are just people like anybody else. It's so long that they have been denied different arenas of showing themselves in a natural way. People get a distorted view or image of black people, and this is a way to kind of break those barriers down.
We need to laugh at what's out there because just like with stand-up comics, when they use comedy, they use realistic issues and views, and then when people laugh at it, they can better relate to it. As far as with Homeboy's comics, I feel that we need to get a little bit more serious because of the issues that we're dealing with as far as black people, black problems, because it's no time out to play around. It's time to get serious because that's a serious issue. And a lot of folks are trying to deal with the issue, but they're not giving a lot of solutions. They're just relaying the problems. They're like giving the world a view of what the problems are. And through Homeboy's comics, we want to try to give a solution and the problem.
I would like to think that by our, relating everything in the comic strip to reassure people that black people are not the violent people that the media portrays us. That we're very relational. We're very loving. We're the kind of people that you can get along with, like your next door neighbor. And I believe we influence them because a lot of people in our school, we hang around with them, we talk with them, and they treat us like if they would treat anybody else.
When we're asked if we're political or if we're entertainment, I like to combine the two. We're infotainment, where we can discuss political issues. We do that hopefully humorously. But in fact, we are using this vehicle as an educational tool. The plight of our people, the plight of our communities is such that every opportunity that we can, we will try and push positive images, positive messages. We need as many of those positive images and messages in the marketplace as we can get. And the cartoon does that. Now, again, we do talk about politics. We will talk about the president. We will discuss some of the policies that come out of Washington that affect our community. We will do these things.
The vision is success. The vision is not only for us, but for the entire city. Hopefully that will be something that's going to impact urban America at large. We don't want to do any of this stuff without anyone else benefiting from it. I mean, not only do we have to pay rent and survive, but other individuals have to see something to ensure that they can do it too.
When I met these guys, I had went to CCS and I was doing some part-time work there, and I was very impressed by the development that the brothers were achieving, and the fact that they were not only living up to the potential, they were actually exceeding and producing stuff that was of top quality, and was actually even inspirational to me in my own work.
Homeboy fits in this. Is first of all, we wanted to change the definition of homeboy, because homeboy right now to some people is a negative word. They think of the homeboys in the street dealing and selling drugs. But this issue, we wanted to have homeboys, meaning these guys are homeboys. They're home, the warmth coming in with one another, and you can relate to them, and it's just a nice warm feeling around these people, and it makes you feel like you're at home.
There is a perception that homeboy is a negative concept. The challenge for us is to take homeboys and turn it into a positive. We attract the readership, the hip-hop culture by using street terminology. But once you get inside our characters and once you get inside the philosophy of homeboys, you'll discover the positives, and that's what we're here to push. We're here to push the positive elements of homeboys, because if you take care of your home, you'll take care of your neighborhood. If you take care of your neighborhood, you end up taking care of your city. But you got to be involved in your home first. Take care of your home. Sweep around your own front door first, and then try and develop positive ways of approaching your problems in your neighborhood. But you got to get involved.